Hello, welcome to Empower and Ignite Transformation Podcast with Alicia and Nicole. How are you, Alicia?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I want to let our subscribers know that if you are new to our channel, please like and share, but also subscribe. And if you are already a subscriber, please continue to like and share our channel.
Yes, yes. And this is one of those episodes that we will really tell you to tag another woman, right? Tag a woman, share it with a woman, share it with your sister, your mom, your cousin. This is an episode that we want you to make sure that you just go ahead and share with a woman. So now you want to tell us about the topic today that we want them to share?
Yes, this month, March, is Women's History Month. So we're excited about today's topic because we are going to be talking about women and how empowering women are, but also how we impact the world. And so, with that being said, I thought I would start off with sharing two women that I know has been impactful in my life. Um, and of course, it's just not these two women, because likely if my mom is on here or a grandmother or something like that, they're like, I don't want y'all to think they have been such an impact, right? But it is not them. The two women, one, Maya Angelou,
Mhm.
definitely has had such an impact in history, in women's history, with her wisdom, with her poetry, as a humanitarian. I think back to just some of her sayings, whether it's each one teach one, or phenomenal woman, right? Of course, everybody knows that poem. And so just in her uh like really advocating and sharing that women are phenomenal, and that loving yourself is important. She definitely has had an impact in my life, when I think about women history. And also Michelle Obama. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I love Michelle Obama. Um, and definitely different generations, right? But Michelle has had such an impact with being the first black woman, that was the first lady as a
Mhm.
black woman. But then also her saying, when they go low, you go high.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love that, for sure. And just she also is one to say, hey, empower other women.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like, support women, and we are each other's sisters.
Yeah, and I think both the women, right, both that you named, those two are very good reminders of that, of being phenomenal and supporting each other. Because us women, there is a lot that we kind of carry on us, and not to say, right, because we're not going to go through the gender fight of men versus women. No, we're not saying that, but we're talking about women's strength, women empowerment, and both of them they encourage women to be bold, be who you are, love who you are on the outside. Don't transform into what society wants you to be who you are. And they both gave clear pictures of beautiful, strong black women who had goals, who had ambitions, and they met their mark.
Yeah, definitely. They embodied what it is to be a phenomenal woman,
Yes.
and definitely encouraging other women, supporting women. So those two, when I think about women's history,
Mhm.
definitely are in my top five for sure.
Definitely.
Um, but with that being said, I also know in women's history, there has also been this narrative about a woman always needing to be strong, always needing to present as this strong woman that carries the weight of the world. And that can be challenging. And
Yeah.
I just really, when I think about women history, we cannot go without sharing or talking about that narrative. Where did it come from?
Right. And I think that's a big one, right? Because we have to redefine this definition of strength. because a lot of times when we think of I'm a strong woman, strong Black woman, things of that nature, we're not just talking about the independence, right? Being strong, carrying strength, that's vulnerability, that's setting boundaries, that's knowing when to rest, that's knowing when to start over, that's knowing when to throw your hands up and walk away. Those are strength, right? So it's not just always I pay my own bills, I got a good job, I'm independent, I'm strong, I got the strength of a Black. No, it's more to it to that. And so that's why we have to redefine what the definition of strength is,
Yeah.
right? We don't just mean that we're stronger in the sense of even muscles, right? No, no. We were embodying all those different characteristics.
Yeah, it's definitely not physical strength, in the sense of that means that, okay, yes, could you possibly lift or carry a lot? But when you think about that, just even that, like saying, I'm a strong woman, yes, will you be faced with challenges, and would you be able to get through them? And that shows the strength that you have as a woman. But when you carry it as a badge of honor,
Mm.
it definitely takes a toll on women in general, but then also it gives this story of it's okay to always carry the weight of the world, the weight of everyone else. Like, and it's okay in knowing that you don't have to or shouldn't want to.
Right, right, and that's the biggest thing. I think the when we redefine this definition of strength, right, is strength choosing ourselves without guilt? Is that being strong? Because there is going to be people who throw the guilt trip at you, right? How can you put yourself before, everyone else in your life or, children, husband, things of that nature, spouse, but is strength choosing yourself without guilt. What do you think about that?
I think that strength is that you would be able to identify when you're needing to take care of you over doing something else. You
Mhm.
would be able to identify for yourself when you're depleted, when you need to be replenished. It's not that I understand we take on titles and roles. And so, in that, we tend to, at times, put others before ourselves. And so, with that, you can become depleted, but also you will ignore the signs and thinking that I have to be strong, right? So then you take that on and you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you do, at some point, burnout is real, right?
Mhm.
So that is something that people need to be able to know. Women need to know that. But also going back to the story that they were told, oftentimes women model behavior. We all, at some point, are likely have modeled some behavior that we were taught growing up. And so then women tend to look at their mothers, look at their grandmothers, and that's what they saw, that they were being strong, right? That they were taking care of the whole family. And so then they also took that on as that is what you should do.
Right.
And if you don't do that, then you would be looked at in a negative
Mhm.
versus no, let us break this generational pattern that's not healthy, and let us know that it is okay to not carry the weight of the whole family.
Right. Right. I hear what you're saying. So strength is choosing yourself, right? And being able to reset that. So like you said, you can't pour from that empty cup. And we are, when we think of this family and how we was raised and background, because that is a lot on how our perspectives. It changes our perspective how we grow up. So when we think of things like that, right? And when we say we're used to seeing our grandmas and our mom, they work and they worked and worked, but they did not do that self-care. They did not take care of themselves, and we seen how it impacted them later in life, or even if it led to, such things as, depression of anxiety and things like that. Choosing yourself is strength. Choosing yourself to say, I need a reset. that is hard, right? Because we know there's people who's going to be mad at us. As a woman, if we throw it up and be like, I ain't cooking no dinner this week, all week, you kids better fend for yourselves. Everyone will be like, oh no, that's not what you can do, right? But
Right.
that's that reset. That's knowing I'm gonna get the black backlash, but I have to do this for myself. And that take a strong person to say, I have to do this for me,
Right.
not no one else, but for me. And that's strength. That shows, that exhibits strength.
Definitely, it does. And in you saying that, like, yes, that does require strength in not going along with what other people will want you to do, or not necessarily following what you saw your mother or grandmother do, in that you need to carry what you've seen and those behaviors, but choosing to say, no, it's okay if they don't have a home cooked meal every day of the week, leftovers, or just teaching them how to make sandwiches, or even preparing things for themselves, depending on the age, of course. You're not letting no little ones, we're not telling y'all uh, that no toddlers and 6 and 7 year olds is cooking. We're not telling y'all that. So we don't want you to do that, please. But age appropriate,
Right. Correct.
that they will be able to, and even if it's not them doing it themselves, it really is okay. So I might not cook something, whether I buy it or whether it's something in there that I know that can be really quick, where it's not going to take away from me getting the rest that I need. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
piece.
I think that's so important, right? Because I didn't see growing up, right? My mom resting. What was that? She was a single mom with 3 children. So it was going constantly, cooking meals constantly. And so, how do we unlearn that narrative? How do we unlearn what we have been raised to see? Because we have grown up, a lot of women have grown up to see grandma, great grandma, Nana, all that big mama worked hard all the time. She's up in the kitchen doing something and never having that moment to herself. How do we break that narrative, like unlearn those habits?
It really is when you decide, it's a choice, right? So you're going to decide for yourself what it is that you want for you, what it is that you don't want to carry as a tradition, what you want to break as something that has been generational or passed down. So it starts with you making a choice. And so definitely that. But then also, if it is where you have guilt around that, like really thinking about, where does that stem from? What does that make you? Why does that make you feel guilty, right? Do you think that this is something that you are obligated to do?
Right.
So those, just really identifying where did it stem from, but
Mhm.
then also what do you choose to do for you, and how do you want to be and show up as the woman, the mother, the wife, whatever title it is, the
Yeah.
sister, the friend, because that's important. And also, because you are in a likely a circle of friendships, you have your own community. So women get together and we are talkers, right? We talk about what's going on in our lives.
Yes, we do.
We may be sharing information about how we go about doing this and that. So it's so important to not compare yourself to your girlfriends or your community, and oh, they are able to do this or that. So I think I should be doing the same thing.
Yes.
It's not one way. It's not that, what's the saying? It's more ways
Skin a
to do.
cat.
Yeah, skin. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was like, skin a cat. That sounds gross. Uh, so it's more than one way to do something.
Yes,
So
for sure.
right. So you don't have to follow this one pattern, right? You don't
Mhm.
have to do that. And so that's what I want women to hopefully take away, that it's okay to choose to do things differently because you want ease.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good point. So when you was talking about that, the first thing I thought is owning your voice, right? And when I say that in a sense, it's when you look through the things that you are burnt out, that you just like, I need a break, that could use a reset. And we're not speaking on it. We're not taking that. We're not owning our voice. We're not owning a voice to say, today I'm not cooking dinner, order Little Caesars. We're not owning that. We're pushing ourselves, going above and beyond. So when we think of breaking that unlearned habits, it's owning those voices, owning I'm tired right now. Say it out loud. It's okay. It's not the end of the world for a woman to be tired, for a mom to be exhausted. Those are normal things. It's okay to speak about it. It's okay to say today is not the day for me. I'm taking a mental health day.
Mm-hmm.
Like we take days when we physically sick.
Right.
We take days when our mental is sick. Our mental need help. We need a reset. And so owning that voice, owning that, being okay with the idea that you can't be everything to everyone all the time. And
Definitely.
that's the hard thing. Because we want to be there for the kids. We want to go to the school things. We want to sit there and be a great wife. We want to be the maid and keep our house clean. We want to be the chef and have dinner ready on the table. We want to. And we can, but we also have to take care of ourselves. And so we have to own that voice to saying, this week I'm taking a break, but next week I'm going to be ready.
Yeah, definitely being able to identify and knowing what your body needs, listening to, you said the inner voice, right? The body tells you what you need. So not to dismiss any signs of that.
Right.
But then even when you think about women now do so many things, I heard you just list off like five things for sure, right? Five different titles. Chef, mom, wife, and then they work, right? Oftentimes women work. And even if you are a stay-at-home mom, that is work. So don't dismiss because you didn't leave and drive in a car and go to a company that's not work. You are working as well. Managing a household, that is work. That is a position.
I'm telling
So
you.
sometimes hear women say, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, or I'm just, a housewife. No, not just.
That's a
Um,
lot of work. Like that's a lot. Like people don't understand. It's like stay at home moms, you're always on. Like when do you get off work? Like your job never ends. The kids go, you clean, you cook, you get things ready for the kids to come back home to do it all over again. Clean it like you have a whole job. So let's not use that at all.
right. And then not to mention if you homeschooling, if
Yes.
they're little,
Yes.
you're teaching them, you're managing a household, that within itself. So when I think about the different titles that you stated, that within itself is like a lot. And I'm not saying that it can't be done. So I know it is where we do it. But I just want women to pay attention to what they need and
Right. And
do it all.
knowing. Yeah, and the biggest thing of knowing even in their strength when they need a break. I
Mhm.
can be as strong as I can be, but I need to know when it is proper to say no. I
Yeah.
need to get comfortable with saying no. And that's the hard part for a lot of us because again, as you mentioned, we can do it. We know we can. We've seen it done. We've seen our moms and our mom. All of them did it. We know that these jobs can be done working, taking care of the kid, all of it, but we also need to know boundaries. We also need to be comfortable with saying no.
Yes, and when you said we can do it, it has been done at a cost, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I always suggest when I meet, if I have a client, and definitely, oftentimes women will say, well, I'm the strong one in my family. I'm the one that everybody depends on, and so sometimes they list it, of course, as a strength
Mhm.
because that is what they have been told, that is a strength for them. But I always suggest that, listen, I need you to throw the superwoman cape away. Don't give it to nobody else, and
Mhm.
you throw yours away.
Yeah.
Do not. You do
like,
not have to be superwoman.
right, right. Now, and especially not all the time. Like there are situations like where I am or you are the only person in the sense that I only can depend on myself as a single woman, a single mom, and things like that. So I have no choice but to carry that superwoman cape. And that's completely fine. We're not sitting here saying that, okay, we're saying even Superman, he takes his cape off.
Oh, because he
He
turned into
takes-
Clark Kent, right? I'm
yes.
I'm saying I'm saying don't have the cape at all because in reality, if you always have that cape on, then you're really not showing up in the human aspect. You're not a machine. And so I would suggest that you really like start to dismantle what that looks like and why you've taken it on. And versus saying, "Hey, I'm human and I don't want to have to carry this. This is too much." And so
It's-
I can be okay with saying, "No, I'm going to do what I can do and what I can't, I'm going to be okay with that." And
mhm.
everything Rome wasn't built in a day.
It wasn't.
So what I have to do is prioritize and I would tackle things as needed or even as I organize what I have to do next, but I can't do everything.
Okay. Okay. I could definitely hear that for sure because that's the biggest thing is knowing what you can and cannot do. That's, once again one of them lines where we have to know this is in our power, this is not in our power right now. Not right now. Doesn't mean it's never going to be, but right now we're prioritizing and we're going to hit those goals. So yep, I understand that. I can understand that for
Yeah,
sure. Okay.
definitely. Even when we think about going back to, because I wrote a couple of things down. When we think about, I know we said who taught women that exhaustion equals strength. Um,
Mhm.
and we, of course, were able to identify likely you're modeling some behavior that you saw and not necessarily that it was taught, but you just modeling what you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then you have taken on the thought that that's what has to be done. That's how you have to do it. So
Okay.
now, in choosing that that's not what you want to do, it
Mhm.
will require you to create a new way of living
Mhm.
for yourself, but then also just in sharing, because like we said, women, we often are in community with one another.
Yes.
And we talk about different things that comes up in our lives and how we're managing things. I think the camaraderie of women in sharing it's okay to not be okay. It's okay that you throw the superwoman cape away. It's okay if you didn't cook today, if you didn't do this or that today.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the big part, right, of empowering other women, being there for them to let them know because especially, we get young moms, first time moms, they want to do it all. They want to do every last thing. And it's the realization of it's okay. It's okay. You unfortunately you can't do every last thing. You just can't. And so I think that that's where that, like you said, that is a big part of teaching and undoing is knowing that and drawing those boundaries on I'm doing what I can and it's okay. It's truly okay.
Yeah. And that, in that, right, when you think about support systems, because I'm always asking clients, like, can you identify your support system? Who is
Mhm.
your support system? Because it's okay to lean on a support system. So often in that strong woman syndrome, um, that is where I don't want to ask for help.
Yeah, yeah,
Like as if that is a weakness to ask for help. So where
right.
did that come from?
Yeah, or even the questions. A lot of people don't want to even ask questions to get the proper help or just information because they want to I got it all figured out, but why? Why do we have to? Why are we in competition with each other that we can't have those open conversations to ask those questions, to inquire, to empower each other, to let each other know that it's okay that today ain't the day. It's okay to take a break. It's okay that you're not on point today. Like
Mhm.
why? Like why are we missing that?
Mhm. And even when you said like not even wanting to ask a question, as if you would know everything, like make that make sense.
Right. Like, I mean, we're
So,
growing human beings, and of course, you just don't know, everything about parenting in general. I don't care how many kids you got, you're just not gonna know everything. But then at the same time, the first time, you're really not gonna know. It's a new role. It's a new role when you step into a wife, you're not gonna know. And at the same time, even if it's your second, third, or fourth marriage, every marriage is different. So you cannot still know everything. So it's okay to ask questions because again, perspectives of people changes, and when people change, their perspective change, you have to meet and understand each other. And so by doing that, that's conversation. That is, knowing the person to say, hey, I need you here because this will help me out. And to be okay with that, to be okay to lean on them, and to be okay with asking, can you help me?
yeah, definitely. So, asking for help is a strength.
It is a strength. It is a strength. That communication right there, because it's a hard thing to do. So you have to be strong to tackle that hard thing. And asking for help seems to be a challenge for a lot of people. So it's definitely a strength.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad we pointed that out. And then, how has the strong Black woman impacted women in a negative, right? I know we have touched on how it likely would impact your mental well-being,
Right.
taking on that strong woman syndrome, the superwoman cape.
Mhm.
You would become depleted at some point in time.
Yeah. So I think when we embody that, strong woman syndrome, well, one, we can lead to, emotion exhaustion, just being exhausted, or the isolation emotionally, just feeling like we're not connecting to others. It could lead to resentment in relationships, feeling like we're carrying the burden of everyone else's problems, issues, concerns, and not having time to focus on ourselves. And then we got the health issues, chronic health issues, right? Like chronic stress, depression, anxiety, things of that nature. And then it just, once we really start feeling like it's just always on us, then feeling love could be hard too. That could be a difficult feeling because now we just feel so separated. No one cares about us because you see me struggling and no one's reaching to provide that support. So like there's so many things, right? When we think of what that syndrome can do, but it could do a lot more harm than it could do good. So we have to be mindful in a sense of like, okay, I'm not looking to being, emotionally isolated. I'm not looking to having chronic stress over things that I can't fix or I'm trying, but one day is at a time. And the biggest thing is we don't want to build resentment in relationships with our moms because we feel like our mom is not helping, or with our, spouses, our children because they're not picking up their toys. No, no, we don't want to build that. We need to have those communications. We need to put those boundaries in place where we are talking about it so we don't have to, feel the need to embody that strong woman syndrome.
Yeah, definitely. I like when you said, hey, it's important that going back to that support system that you have, like being okay with asking for support, knowing that that's something that's needed, but then also just really checking in with yourself, being honest with yourself, and knowing that you are one person, you're human, you're not a machine. So burnout is real. And that it just really isn't a strength to carry the weight of everyone all the time.
It's not. It's not. I think that this was like a really important topic to hit on, especially for Women's Month, because as we are diving in, again, we're still at the top of the year. We have all year where we can start making and implementing those changes. This is the time for us to look at it. Okay, this is my month. This is Women's Month. What am I doing different for me as a woman?
Yeah.
Not as a mom, not as a wife, not as a worker bee, not as a boss, but as a woman. What am I doing for me? And I think that that's going to be the biggest question to ask yourself this week. What am I doing just for me to put a smile on my face, to put joy in my heart? What is empowering me to be a better version of me?
That's a good one, Alicia. I love that. Giving them something to think about, really asking
Mm.
themselves, what is it that I need? What am I doing for me? And so that they know that they already are making an impact in the world. You are making an impact in the world. But you want to also make sure that you're taking care of you. So that definitely is good to lead on as it relates to, hey, reflect. We want you guys to reflect. Women, if you like, we're asking you guys to reflect on what it is that you need for yourself as you continue to make an impact in this world.
Yes, yes. I enjoyed this topic. I enjoyed it a lot. Make sure you take time to send us any more, things that you want us to kind of hit on, some more topics and things like that. And we would definitely, we want to engage. We want to get to know you guys. And so don't forget to send in those topics.
Yes, and I want to share also that because oftentimes we might not say it, but it is in our description often that we are not providing therapy on our channel. We are providing empowering solutions and as well as psychoeducation so that you can live the life that you desire, that you can have transformation, that it ignites you to be great in all that you do. So we do want to make sure that we let you guys know that. And so we look forward to seeing you guys. Alrighty.
See you next time.